Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back once again to Saving Often. This is part 8 of Obduction, and I am joined for Obduction, as always, by my dear friend David.
It's me again. I've got better audio quality now. Don't get used to it.
David is sitting next to me here in Such Minutiae Studios, aka my little computer room. He's visiting me right now, so we figured that we would give you some live in-person Obduction. And what better time to do it than after conquering that damn circle puzzle last week? Let's do a quick little recap. We had the circle puzzle. We finished it off. Luckily, most of the heavy lifting was done in the previous part. But once we finished that off, we took a monorail, stereo rail, some kind of rail, and witnessed an epic space battle. We found a wounded villain and realized that this particular villain had been in a gunfight with our imposter Yosef. After finding the real Yosef, we confronted a Mofang weapon of mass destruction, and I walked right over to it and blew up the whole planet. So we restored our game after that, and then connected the tree on Murray, and then went back to Kaptar and wrapped up that tree as well. So here we are now in Part 8, with 3 of the 4 trees connected, and only one left to find, which will be on Soria, the Mofang homeworld.
Now we just need to figure out where to go next.
We do need to figure out where to go next. So, one thing that I was thinking about in the interim between this episode and the last is the connection that we have here on this planet with the other planet. From what we can tell, this whole purplish thing outside the bounds of Hoonrath looks like it's going to be Mofang's homeworld of Soria. And the thought occurred to me that, as we saw in our log book here, with all of the people who have been chambered, our planets are connected in some way, if you take these to be planets. So Hoonrath has Soria on the outer limits, and Murray had Kaptar and vice versa in their outer limits. So somehow Hoonrath is directly connected to Soria. I don't know if that's going to be relevant at all, but I thought it was an interesting lore connotation. So yeah, we need to find our way to Soria. Last time we checked with CW, and he had absolutely nothing to say. The hammering had ceased. We don't know what he is up to. So
He didn't even pop in to ask us if we'd hooked up the electricity like he wanted.
No, he has been very adamant about that. And it is plugged in. It is plugged in. So I did a little bit of recon in between.
Some recon.
Some recon, yes. In between this episode and the last, just to make sure that we were going to start off with a good running start. And one thing that I noticed, David, is there's a contraption up here now.
What's that doing there?
This?
Did CW actually come out of his vault?
I believe this is what CW has been working on. We have power lines that are now running from his battery over to there, and it looks like he's building some kind of apparatus above the tree. That was definitely not there before along the minecart path. So let's go over and take a quick look at that and see what we can glean.
I suppose this is what was happening during all those loading screens. See, there's a diegetic reason for it all along.
Yeah, so he has been building something here.
Wants to, absorb the radiation off the tree or some such. Maybe it's pumping the tree full of radiation. I don't know.
Maybe. So, this is interesting, but I don't know if it helps us find Soria.
Can we get up there at all? Ride the minecarts?
We can get up there, but we still have this gap. So we can't actually get over to there.
Is it possible for us to get our minecart up there and maybe connect it to those others?
I don't think so, because the elevator that took the minecart down in the first place no longer is active. There's nothing that I can do with it. But we will go up here and take a look. So this is what he's been building. And I notice that there are little carts over there as well.
Yeah. It does, to me, feel like something that we'd want to connect to, but I don't even know what we'd want to be dragging. Like, maybe we get some, like, canisters of tree juice and then haul them over.
Well, those carts had been over here.
Hmm.
Notice this is empty now.
Yeah, so I guess CW wouldn't appreciate it if we dragged it away.
Yeah.
Can we? We're not able to unbrace that door, I'm assuming.
No. We can walk over here now, though, and we can kind of see a different angle. Nothing we can do with this door, though. So that is the elevator that we took up way back at the beginning of Obduction.
Mm-hmm.
We took that up to here, and we opened up the dam, which caused that water to stop flowing, and water, I think, to start flowing over there.
Mm-hmm.
But we had been up on that scaffolding. We had even walked over to the laser there. So something tells me that when we activate the final tree, CW will finish whatever he's building, and we'll be able to access that area once again. I did go back and do a little bit of scouting and saw that there is another shimmery wall up there that we were not able to access because the red laser was active. So presumably that will take us somewhere new here on Hoonrath. Maybe to the radio tower.
I do like new places. It means that I can stop thinking about the old places a little while longer.
Exactly. But yeah, we need to find our way to Soria.
So this new shimmering spot you mentioned, is it accessible currently? Like, do we need to do any fussing to get to it?
I'm not going to be able to get up there because this elevator is no longer active, because the water is no longer active there. I did go back and just mess around with a new save file just to see what was up there, and I found the shimmery wall.
Okay. So are we able to re-divert the water back? I remember, like, once you pulled the switch the first time, it wasn't able to be flipped back around.
No, I don't think we're able to re-divert the water back again. I think we just have to wait for that last piece of machinery to be out of the way so we can unbar the door.
That would make sense.
And walk across, which I would assume means that we have to activate the tree on Soria. But how do we get there?
Well, the only connection to Soria that I know of is the one that's over in the Keptar, like, bug nest. But that doesn't have its, like, seed in it. And unless we can, pick an object up and bring it there, we're kind of toast.
Correct. So we're not going to be able to access it by there. But I'm wondering if there's a way we can get there from here.
Like, my assumption would be that we would somehow have to redirect what planets are connected. I don't know if, like, the seeds can connect. If they change, if you change which worlds that are connected.
Mm-hmm.
That would be weird. That would be absolutely bananas.
Yeah, so let's hope that's not the case. So, if you recall, when we found this path, this would take us back, I believe, to the sphere rotator. Yeah. There's our sphere rotator. This was the loading screen that I kept
love
walking
it so
into.
much.
Yeah. So this is a new path that's open to us now. And it kind of looks like Kind of looks like we might be able to open this up and get to the other side of the river. So how do we accomplish that? Do we do one of these?
I think that's the wrong way, Rick.
That is exactly the wrong way. Okay. Let's do this. There we go.
Now we just gotta walk back to Murray.
Yes, we have to go all the way back to Murray. We can actually go via tree, though. We have tree pads now.
It is true. All the mystical whooshes.
I do think the tree transportation is pretty novel. I like that you can just kind of seamlessly walk between worlds.
I like to think that Cyan was like, well, we've done, travel by books before. What are books made out of? Trees. There we go.
We're just cutting out the middleman. I do know this door is closed now. We are completely unable to get back to our Verlaine buddy, so hopefully he makes it. He seems like he's doing okay.
He's not moving, Rick.
He's moving. He's moving very slightly. There's still a chance. See, look, he's moving very, very, very slightly.
He could do with a sandwich, though.
Well, one day we'll go on a quest to get him that sandwich, but today is not that day.
A sandwich quest, if you will.
A sandwich quest, if you will. Do you remember the time when we were worried that there wasn't enough Jungle Planet? Now we've had too much Jungle Planet. It's fun to walk back to, but
I don't want to live here.
No, I don't want to be here ever again.
Listen, the Mofang homeworld will give us plenty of opportunity to be upset.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried a second that the elevator wasn't going to work.
It didn't really give us any good
Well, you
feedback.
turn the water on Hunroth isn't running, so you're gonna have to go back. This whole conceit of trying to delay people from getting to the chambered people. If you could just jump on top of the maze, it'd be completely moot.
Well, fortunately for the humans, nobody in this world can jump because they all have cameras. But you're right, if you could just, walk across the top.
I mean, the Arai is not going to pose any problem whatsoever to them.
No, luckily they're not the threat. I'm still wondering what brought everything here, because my assumption in this whole business is that these four races were brought together, and I mean the humans were working with the Mofang at one point, and they have friends among the Mofang, but yet the Mofang seem to be aggressors. So I wonder if there's something going on here to where
my perception of the conflict here is that the humans have figured out a means to get back to their home world, but it's going to come at the cost of the Mofang. Now, that may not be the case because, the villains and the Arai seem to be on our side. Or I don't know to what degree the Arai can really be on anybody's side.
Yeah, it just seems like the Mofang might be grasping for power. We were all working together at one point, but now they're greedy and they want it all for themselves.
Really didn't like Yosef's municipal plan. His policies were not to their taste, so now it's all out war.
His zoning was all out of whack.
The Mofang advisor was like, "You will regret this."
Oh, hey, look, we made it. And there is indeed another side to the river.
Could you imagine how much time we could save if we could wade through the river?
Incredible.
Finally got to see another painting.
It's nice.
I'm glad they put the cast back on the paint, otherwise they dry out.
Yeah, very responsible. Oh, hey, Imager rocks.
Can we even get our laser over here? I don't think so.
Remember there was a track up at the top of the junkyard that kind of led to nowhere. I wonder if we have to get the laser there. But it doesn't seem like there's anything else that we can do on this side.
Well, back to Murray, I guess.
Oh, man. There's no shortcut or anything?
That would be nice. Just knock the painting over and float across the river with it.
Man. Okay. All right. Okay.
Do you think that Cyan's ever going to call our bluff and make us do the bridge puzzle properly? Like we've kind of cheesed it a little bit.
We cheesed it a lot.
A tiny bit.
A lot. We did not do our homework.
Obduction has fascinating background lore, and also a lot of puzzles that involve gotchas. In terms of like, oh well, you didn't do this. You didn't have the foresight to know there was an Imager rock here.
Yeah, the backtracking is a bit much. I'm really enjoying the hell out of Obduction, but that's got to be the biggest complaint. Is there's just they thought of some things, but they didn't think of enough things.
Like if you were peeling an orange and there was 3 layers of rind.
Yeah.
But, the juice is still good.
Yeah, the juice is great, but, man, good luck getting to it. Can't go that way.
That's unfortunate. Not now, ambience. Sadly, I don't have any more new adventure game hot takes to share to fill the air as we meander back there. We've been too busy just enjoying each other's company.
Yeah. I mean, we probably have some Resident Evil 8 takes that we could share. We've been playing through Resident Evil 8. The last time I got with David, we played through Resident Evil 7 together. Mm-hmm. So Resident Evil 8 has been on the menu for this visit, and yeah, it's not as good.
I mean, it's been very critically well received, but we were discussing how Resident Evil as a franchise is just big campy horror. It's very loud horror, and my ice cold take is that Silent Hill is much better.
Yeah, that's a pretty icy cold take. Silent Hill is much better.
But to be fair, Resident Evil has had better modern sequels than Silent Hill has, whereas Silent Hill will probably never get another sequel again.
I mean, Silent Hill had 3 exceptional games that I think are better than anything Resident Evil ever did.
I'm a little more forgiving. The original 4 games, I love them all, and also Shattered Memories is excellent, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay. Shattered Memories was very, very good. I never got through the room, Silent Hill 4. Which means, fodder for a future series. As you cart me through it and laugh at my despair.
Somebody has to.
Okay, well, here we are on
Can we even
side.
Can we even see it from here? How much time have we wasted, Rick?
Oh, man, I hope. Okay, that's it right there.
Beautiful.
Oh, man, sure wish we would have, thought of doing that a long-ass time ago.
Well, we didn't even really realize it was there.
True. Okay, well, this minecart is way out of the way of everything else in Hoonrath, but in a display of optimism, I'm going to leave it here because I don't think we're ever going to need this again.
Well, until we need the laser on the Mofang homeworld.
I hate you. Because you're probably right. All right, let's ride the diggy truck. The more I think about it, the more I think you're going to be right. It is a mobile blue laser, which seems to directly counteract all things Mofang. I hope that the humans had the foresight to leave some of those blue lasers on Soria so we don't have to take the minecart there, but racking my brain trying to think of how we could even get the minecart there, and I'm coming up with nothing, so I'm hoping beyond hope that you're full of shit.
Well, this is what CW is working on. He's building the track so that we can specifically get the laser there.
Oh, God. Am I going the right way? Who knows?
Listen, you've watched me, bungle around Resident Evil 8's village enough to know that I'm not going to navigate you anywhere.
Yeah, David remarked last night that the hardest part of Resident Evil 8 so far is just figuring out how to get through the village. Just meandering around.
Listen, I can wander around spooky castle corridors forever, but getting the lay of the land when there's a tractor or a wagon in the way and the map doesn't reflect that...
Don't panic.
Don't.
Still alive.
Gotta check in. Don't worry, sir. That sub sandwich is coming. I feel a little ridiculous in saying that the only Silent Hill game I have not at least enjoyed was Downpour.
Why do you feel ridiculous in saying that?
Just because, Homecoming is more so, the whipping boy for the, series. It's the more... That one's the closest to kind of the Resident Evil sort of, just loud horror, where it's just kind of big and dumb. Downpour felt like it was trying to be more of a return to form. But I really didn't jive with the tone. I should clarify, though, that there's nothing necessarily wrong with big, loud, campy horror. I like the existential dread best, though. That's my favorite flavor. You go into an ice cream shop, you're like, I want existential dread.
Yeah, I mean, big, loud, flashy jump scare horror has its place. Sometimes you just, you just want the roller coaster ride.
I mean, how else are the Let's Players going to get paid?
Yeah, but personally, I much prefer the slower, more methodical, psychological horror that sticks with you.
I remember when we did play through Resident Evil 7, we enjoyed it well enough, and then I showed you Kitty Horror Show's work, and it was like night and day.
It is. Kitty Horror Show is an independent developer, and her work is absolutely phenomenal. It's subtle, it's disturbing, it's uncomfortable, and that has definitely stuck with me far more than any big bombastic horror that I've ever seen.
Yeah, Anatomy is the big title that I think is the easiest to recommend. It's about a house.
Yes, Anatomy was incredible. That was the first one you had me play from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just these mysterious and uncomfortable spaces where nothing is quite right.
Are you ready to find our one journal note in here?
The one that tells us, "Hey doofus, go back the other way."
You found my secret stash of art supplies. Well,
Please read thoroughly. We must have every detail in place. Our lives and our species depend on this being executed perfectly. The locations and times in this document are based on the information leaked by Ruko and Shavar. Our lives depend on the accuracy of the information we received from them. Remainers, CW, Earth. Trar, Aprar, or Bar, Marais. Arai, and 1 Polyarch on Kaptar. Prep. Day 17143 AH, Hour 12, begin chambering. End of day 17146 AH, Farley verified manifest, all souls chambered. Beginning of day 17148 AH, remainers in place with hands-on swap trigger. Beginning of day 17148 AH, Ruko and Shavar arrive, chambered by Trar. Beginning of day 17148 AH, Trar on guard of chamber. Trigger time, day 17148 AH, hour 5, minute 33, could vary by plus or minus 4 minutes. Trigger locations, as prescribed. All locations should have small error allowance. Marais has largest margin of error potential. Be alert. Trigger task. Trigger reswap immediately after swap. Any delay increases the risk of detonation in a home sphere and the risk of a remainer being disabled in Mofang. Communication. Farley. I'll ensure that all remainers, or in the case of Kaptar, the remaining Polyarch, receive and understand this document. I think we already read this.
did we?
I think that's a copy of something we've already read. That sounds very familiar to me.
Well, at least we know the name of the guy who needs that sandwich.
Yes. I'm wanting to say that was by the weight scale
Okay.
seed.
So is this one empty too?
Oh no.
Looks like we're going there, boys.
All right. Let's do it.
It's red.
Definitely get the feeling that we shouldn't be here. I mean, we should.
We must.
But thematically, we should not. This place feels very hostile. And there are images everywhere.
The whole place.
Well, there's the tree.
It would be nice to get there. Not much vegetation on Soria.
No, this just loops around.
Feeling a little easy.
I don't know, David, I'm feeling a little uneasy. There was another path over here. I want to...
Exhaust our options before we
Yes.
pump the tree full of juice. Life-giving water, nectar of the gods. We just round the corner and we see an army of Yosefs.
Oh no.
That's interesting.
So this would be... this would be Earth.
Wasn't it Arizona where Hoonrath was plucked from?
Yes.
So it looks like the time outside the bubble has progressed.
Perhaps, yes. Although, interestingly, there doesn't seem to be a dome around this. So were the domes a product of Mofang technology specifically? I mean, the red lasers were definitely Mofang.
Well, we found the journals that kind of suggested that the barriers were put in place deliberately so that, any Mofang weaponry would be sent back the way it came. I'm still waiting for, the other shoe to drop in terms of we still need to, somebody's going to betray us, right?
Yeah, what's the twist gonna be? Well... that's the final tree.
Meanwhile, CW is feverishly building an entire skyscraper.
Okay. Well, let's go up and see what CW has been up to now that we've completed his objective.
Yes, just ever so nicely to hook up all the trees. I wonder if anything would change if we had failed to hook up the power.
I don't know, I wonder. I feel like the battery up there has something to do with the device that CW is building.
Most likely. He wants power for something, if only to charge his phone.
That could be it. He'd better answer his door.
Phrasing there worries me quite a bit.
How so?
All the stuff holding us back. Also, what must it be like to have a FMV man just walking free in this space?
Oh man, the memories. Remember when we walked over here?
Pulled a lever.
Walked over here, and we pulled this lever, and then something happened, and we thought, hey, what's going on? Feels like several parts ago in this video series. And here we have the only shimmering wall on Hoonrath that we have not yet explored. And if my calculations are correct, this will take us to the Bleeder. Well, there's our red power line.
It's true. Are we going to need to go to the top of the tower?
Probably at some point. Oh, hey, dynamite. Door open, door closed. What's more destructive?
I mean, the door's there for safety, so you probably want to leave it open. I don't know what that did, but it sounded ominous. Now the wires aren't shaking anymore.
Man, you know, when I saw that dynamite plunger, and you said it looks like a dynamite plunger, I thought, yeah, it does. No way it's actually dynamite, though. Turns out, it's
Listen,
dynamite.
when you're stuck on an alien homeworld, you can't get C4. At least not very easily. Can't wait for CW to trap us in a book.
You know, we haven't had any opportunities to choose to go with or against CW. I wonder if that's coming up. If we had the opportunity, say there were two levers right now, David, which one would you choose? Help CW or stop CW?
I mean, the problem here is that we haven't really had another, like, face apart from Yosef, who's currently in the fridge. We had fake Yosef for a little bit. That was a change of pace. Mofang homeworld, is it off? Or is it just, like, busted?
The light's broken.
Okay. But it's got electricity, so it means we're fine.
Yeah, now it's at 100. So we're good. Well.
Ooh. Good opportunity for him to... Look up.
Lots of folks lived behind.
Right.
But I reckon they've passed. I don't move real well, cars and legs. You can see how useful these tracks is to me. Not sure what's getting into them freezing cactar critters, but they ain't unplugging my battery. We're going home, not wherever. All right now, I'll power up my override. When the time comes, it works a lot like them little swappers. They'll swap us home. You don't spend much time here, and that ain't a bad thing. But there were some fine folk. Some real fine folk. I reckon you got the best seat in the house over there. Well, this is it. Been a long time since I've seen them. Very long indeed. A lot of company. Seems like it's working pretty strong.
Oh, wow.
This ain't. What the hell happened here? What happened? This ain't Earth, is it? But no, I don't know. It's
That Farley?
Oh, no, 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 no.
Caroline.
We were so close.
Caroline.
We all needed. But most couldn't swap. Is it too late? Oh, Cecil.
But I didn't. I figured you was home. I'm so sorry, Caroline.
I know, Cecil. It just wasn't meant to be this way.
Rick, are you going to do anything about the ominous storm cloud about to consume us?
I don't know what I can do.
You could push the button again.
This one?
No, the elevator button. Well, try that one too. Let's panic a little bit. Congratulations. We got the bad ending.
No. No.
We should have helped Farley.
How? How do you help Farley?
I don't know. Maybe we should read more journals. Maybe we should try and, like, get her out of stasis. So, obviously we don't want to detonate the bleeder.
No, we absolutely do not. None of these buttons were doing anything. Let's go back to Farley's lab. What did we miss?
I mean, we're definitely in endgame here, where we basically need to be doing something to subvert. Like, Farley had said we were so close, but I don't feel we have a great grip on what they were trying to accomplish. We've got, like, a Noah's Ark sort of situation going on here, where they're trying to preserve everybody, but, like, what were they hoping to do? Just outlast that storm that consumed everything?
Yeah, the dust storm kind of confuses me.
I mean, it's kind of implied there that something's going on with Earth that rendered it uninhabitable, which might imply that the tree, like, abducting people was a very benevolent thing. That was about the eggs, and they're affected by terrain.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember reading this. Did we read this?
I feel like we might have, but it's also been a bit.
15997 AH. The villain, I can't find the words. It's such a foreign life cycle, or perhaps not. They launch themselves across the expanses of space, preserved for eons, until at last their technological arcs can hone in and carry them to a new home. They have no connection with their predecessors, but in spite of this, perhaps because of this, they have amazing recollections of their history. Their stories are epic, reaching back through the eons. Unlike many of us who were abducted, they were abducted as a whole. Their scoop moved an entire facility that was about to be annihilated. I have come to believe that they, perhaps more than any of us, have a deeper understanding of whatever this strange system is that we find ourselves in. 16333 AH. I need to write this down. We buried Ji-Un today. This place never really agreed with her. Kept to herself mostly, depressed and downcast. Anyway, I digress. I stayed after the brief words were spoken. I was the last to leave. I wandered to the dome, as I often do, and looked out at the undulating Saurian weirdness beyond the cell wall. Movement caught my eye. Now, on very rare occasions we've seen Mofang scrambling about in the distance, but there have been fewer and fewer sightings over the years. But before me was a tall, haggard Mofang running desperately, almost directly toward me from one of the distant structures. I still can't tell the gender, got closer and closer. I thought it would see me and stop, or turn around, or be curious about this strange dome and our world inside it, but it continued running quickly, almost directly to my position. I was frozen in place with curiosity until my reflexes took over at the last moment, and I leapt out of the way. But rather than hit the dome and fall backward, or come through into Hoonrath, the dome flashed its familiar tone and the Mofang vanished. I was stunned for a bit, but I retrieved my wits and stepped into the dome, myself, to quickly get to the other side. After getting through, I immediately turned around and saw the Mofang outside, on the other side of the dome, still running away from whatever it feared, but as if it had no sense of passing around the dome. Surprising as the event was, it did serve to settle a few things in my mind. I always wondered how no one on Earth noticed what had replaced this chunk of Arizona we have here. 16772 I've got a vent. Again, there are those who argue with me. Over and over, I demonstrate that in almost every case, whatever the process was that brought us here, it occurred at a pivotal moment. They tell their stories, and they still can't admit that the abduction actually saved each of us. All of us. What is it in human nature that grasps so strongly to the past that we blame our saviors for stealing it from us? Okay, just one more event before bed. If each of us was individually saved from something, then maybe all of us were corporately saved from something larger. Can we really be sure what's left? And this, the arrivers come from various places and times. Sarah got here almost 15 years ago from the year 2055, and Vazil got here 2.5 years ago from 1942. What does that mean? Time here is shuffled and chaotic compared to Earth. What state is Earth in right now? When is Earth right now? 16787 It's 3:15 a.m. and I feel compelled to journal this craziness. After spending most of yesterday meditating with the Arai, and then most of this evening discussing the nature of these worlds with CW, I had just a sip of infamous Hoonrath hooch and collapsed in my chair. Well, I just awoke from a dream. I'm not one who puts a lot of credibility in dreams, but maybe the Arai were able to move something in me to understand, or possibly because of the intense discussion, my subconscious mind was triggered to be able to sort out some logical connections. Or maybe it was the hooch. The dream. I was tending a garden, an immense garden, and it wasn't for food or flowers, it was just about the health of the garden. I kept working and working to control it and contain it and make it healthier, but the garden seemed to fight me at every turn. And after what seemed like days of work, I finally gave up in frustration, and as I stood there, doing nothing, the garden flourished before my eyes, growing and spreading in every direction. Because, I realized, the system that the plants were based on was not about me shaping and controlling. The natural system of plants is healthier when they are out of control, when they are free to spread and intermingle and cross-pollinate and mutate. Now, from a human point of view, that may not provide what I want. I get smaller fruit and smaller flowers and untidiness, but from the point of view of the plants, they grow stronger and much more resilient and resistant. The more they are scattered, the higher their odds of surviving. And now that I contemplate, I realize that even the individual plants/seeds may not appreciate the benefit of what's happening. They are torn far from their origins, forced into situations that seem extreme, possibly even destroyed by these new environments. But for the seeds that survive, the seeds that survive. Now that's where real growth, strength, and abundance comes from. It's so beautiful and terrifying. Beyond the beauty of it all is a system and structure that defies understanding. Okay, what if this is all a natural process? There are signs of something behind it all, but well-hidden signs. So, well, if I look at all this, the cell, the tree, the water, the seeds, the hub, the health, even the abductions, well, there seems to be a grand system, or plan. The plan doesn't take me into account. It is unemotionally intent on the health of something much bigger. That may hurt my feelings, but, well, what am I in the entire scheme of the universe? I have no idea what, if anything, might have put this process into motion, but that is irrelevant. Tomorrow I will talk with CW. He could be swayed from his battery plan. 17145 I really don't journal much. I came to write this down because I am distraught. As I contemplate the plan that I have set in motion, I realize that I have become the destroyer of worlds. I sat down to write, to seek some cathartic tranquilization, and I realized the last thing I journaled was some esoterically beautiful philosophy about letting this garden grow. Not so reaffirming or calming. But nevertheless, here's my reasoning because I must write this down. Simply, it's us or them. Complexly, if this is some kind of garden and we're the plants or seeds or whatever, well, some of us have gotten together and decided that we're the better choice to survive, if the others have unilaterally decided that we all won't survive. I am more fit, damn it. This is not me. I want to be calm and garden or ungarden or grow or... What gives one species the right to destroy another species? Who gets to choose? Do I just lay down and die because the more aggressive species thinks they're better, more powerful? What brutal scale do I use to measure the good of some against the life of others? Does love ever destroy in order to help more survive? To help love itself to survive? Does that even make sense? Can I kill because I think it will bring about more love? What if I'm not even capable of understanding the situation of hate versus love? Maybe I am the hater. Do I generate this love delusion to help me maintain my sanity in light of the choice I have made? My God, it's too much. If these are just my walls of delusion, then I chose to live within them. I am a seed scattered by the wind, but I will not simply be trampled. I will kick and scream and survive. May God have mercy on my soul.
Can you turn the page again?
Nope.
Well, I note that CW's plan involved the battery, so maybe we should unplug that battery.
That's exactly what I was thinking. How did we miss that book?
It feels very obvious. As well. It's like, we could not possibly have missed that. We couldn't be so boneheaded. We could not have bungled that hard, could we have?
Elvis, stop laughing. Well, that's very interesting. Let's try unplugging the battery.
I reckon my brain's trying to think of like anything else that might be pertinent right now. Like we could try to see any of the other possible entry points to Soria. Like we still have that one sphere off in the kind of the surrounding area of Keptar, or maybe seeing if the seed to Soria near the tree base in Keptar, if that's been renewed or returned to where it was. But both of those were kind of dead ends previously.
Yeah, it seems like each world has its own seed to Soria, but both of the ones that we found outside of Hoonrath were destroyed.
There, now it's only like 75% charged.
I wonder what this will do. I do hope there is a definitive ending.
I mean, I don't think that they would just like leave it on a downer.
Yeah, but everything has been so navel-gazing and contemplative. I hope that there's an ending that we can say for sure is the good ending. Okay, Bleeder Explosion, take 2, action.
Almost there. Real good. Not much left. Just wait for all the natural time here, and that ain't a bad thing. But there were some fine folk. Some real fine folk. I reckon you got the best seat in the house up there. Well, this is it.
Well, the particle effects are yellow. That's got to be good, right?
They were yellow before, weren't they?
I thought they were red. Maybe I'm misremembering.
This king. I checked. I checked everything. So tell me, did you do this? Carving chance. I got no idea where we're headed now. You're sending us to hell for all I know. What in blazes? What in blazes? Wait. I'll be. Harley. She got it right. She got it right.
CW. Cecil.
Caroline. Caroline.
So incredible.
Dear Lord. You made it. How many others?
We all made it. I'm heading your way. Stay where you are.
I ain't going nowhere.
Now we're lonely. I like that we've just got a big hunk of giant tree carved out and plopped down. Well, this ending has music.
This ending does have music. I think we did it.
I hope we did it. Now, it looked like we did get Soria brought with us too, so hopefully the ongoing hostilities won't continue.
Yeah, hopefully we can all live together in peace. That's a beautiful place we landed. Really wish I understood.
Listen, maybe there's just 8 more journals we failed to pick up.
Well, this was a hell of a game, I gotta say. I think the only thing that I didn't like was the backtracking, but otherwise, man, Obduction was great.
Yeah, I think that this captures a lot of the mechanical fun of Myst, a lot of the mystery of Myst, the mystery, as it were. This does get the energy, and that's a lot more than I can say for a lot of kickstarted projects. Like they'll try to aspire, but maybe if I was a bigger Mist head, I'd feel differently.
I don't know. I'm a pretty big fan of Mist and Riven, and I thought this was right up there with what I would have wanted from a modern take on the same formula. I thought it was very inventive, very creative. I loved exploring the other worlds. I loved learning little bits and pieces about the different races. And they did good by making Soria feel like a very monumental discovery when you finally get there and you see what it looks like, and it's just so desolate and beautiful.
It was very tense, very. I don't know, it built up to it for a long time, and it was very dramatic.
And look at all these Kickstarter backers that made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Good people, every one of them. Well, except for a couple of them.
Looking at you, Steve Smith in particular.
Oh, the show and tell backers.
I assume those are people who were going to let's play it? I don't know. What does that show and tell mean?
Bearded Matthew, is that even your real name?
Anytime there's a Kickstarter project, there's always that line that's like, man, I could have been in the credits for this because I liked it, but I wouldn't be able to know. And then there's the stuff that's like, well, I got into the credits of this one, and I wish I wasn't.
I'm sure Joe Campbell is happy that he kickstarted this game.
Yeah.
Man. I wonder what Firmament's going to be like. That is the next game coming from Cyan. I hope that it can live up to this. It's got some very lofty shoes to fill, or very large shoes to fill. Lofty expectations to realize. I'm mixing up my idioms.
I think you've told me already, but I think that do we know if it's going to be in the same continuity? This feels very self-contained.
This does feel self-contained, and I'm not too sure. But whatever it is, I'm looking forward to seeing it. These are the box backers.
These are the people who don't get music because they just
yeah,
they gave too much money.
Yeah, Andrew Clary, Andrew Smith, Andrew Maxey, Andrew Milham. There's a lot of Andrews there. I can't get to every one of you, but thank you. Thank you for kickstarting this game at the box level. Bobinator, I don't believe that's your real name, but thank you.
Too many Brads for my taste.
Awful lot of Brads.
Well, Rick, you're gonna have to get some more hot takes in here because I think we're only in the C's now.
I don't know. This is a game that we've played it. We've pretty much played it week by week. It probably would have been wiser if we would have recorded the whole thing all at once. But we've been doing this weekly with each other, and it's
been a leisurely playthrough where we get to half remember what we were up to and then embarrass ourselves.
But I gotta say, it's stuck with me from week to week. Just I find myself thinking about it a lot. Just about the worlds and some of the puzzles that we've seen. It's just good. I liked it very much. I'm grateful that I got to appreciate it with my pal David Mude.
Yeah. I'm pretty cool. Not as cool as Rick here, but I'm all right.
No, David is infinitely cool. Infinitely cooler than I. And you should follow him everywhere. David, throw down some plugs.
You can find me on Twitter at Mude462. I do a webcomic with my husband, jackbeloved.com. That's also on Webtoons and Tapas. What else have I got? What other bullshit am I involved with? I'm here. I try to plug this too.
You also have your own homepage with what you write.
Yeah. I've written some stories. I got Mude.net is my portfolio website. I also write Mario fan fiction, which you can find at AO3. But that's all great stuff.
You know what the fun thing about that is? You can no longer say you wrote Mario fan fiction. Oh no, you actively write Mario fan fiction.
Yes. This is my life.
The soulless look in your eyes right now. Well, we're only up to the M's. By my count, that's half the alphabet, and I have no idea what's coming next. So I think that we should just we should end it with Michael Davis, Michael Stewart, and Mimicry Games. That's not a real name.
You don't know that.
Oh, now we're getting to the Nathans. Let's get out of here.
It's pronounced Games.
Oh, Games. James. Patrick 33 Vincent. Your middle name cannot be numbers. All right, we gotta go. Thank you very much for joining us. I don't know what I will be playing next. I don't know when David will be back next. Maybe he'll be back next week with something else. Maybe he's just kind of tired of this shit. I don't know. But you can continue to find me here at my YouTube channel, Such Minutia. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember to save early and save often. And yeah, drop me comments and let me know what your thoughts. And appreciate everybody taking the time to let us into your lives for a little while.
Please subscribe, ring that bell.
Smash the like button.
Yeah. Do all the things to drive engagement because he's cool.
All right.
Please.
The bearded llama. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.